if you're currently unhappy in your job, you might be facing this thought process of how do I figure out the perfect next step for me? How do I know whether to go for this career path or whether to do this? How will I know what the ideal next step for me is? You might find that you're facing all these different ideas and options and thoughts, and that can be really, really overwhelming. So, what I'm about to say to you may not help with that overwhelm, because the truth is that there is no perfect job. The truth is that there probably are multiple career paths that you could take that would all be a great option for you. So let me come back to that overwhelm. How do we deal with that? If you are faced with all these different ideas, how do you figure out what to do next? How do you narrow down your options so that you can feel confident that the next step is going to be one that you're going to enjoy? In this video, I am going to help you figure out what to do with all those options, how to narrow it down so that you can be confident about what is next in your career. So, let me give you an example of a career that works. So, I absolutely love my job. I work for myself and it works around the life that I have built for myself. So, I absolutely love what I do. It allows me to use my skills, things that I enjoy doing that I'm really good at. It lines up with the stuff that I'm passionate about. Does this mean that every moment of every day I am at work, it's 100% joy? No, unfortunately, it doesn't. There are still elements that I don't enjoy. I don't love submitting my taxes. I don't love tracking the analytics on my social media. I don't love, to be honest, anything to do with numbers and data. That is not my thing. But do I love my job? Yes. Do I love my job and have elements of it that aren't the perfect, dreamy, 100% joy? Two things can be true at once. So, just because I don't love every element of my job doesn't detract from the fact that it's the right job for me to be doing right now in this moment of time. I love what I do. But I don't think it helps when we put this pressure on finding your perfect job. You could find a job that you love that allows you to do a lot of this good stuff, but then there'll be a small minority of things that maybe aren't the things that light you up. Putting this pressure on finding something that is perfect keeps you stuck, keeps you in a job that ultimately you don't like because you don't want to move until you've found the perfect job. It keeps you stuck in a place where you're not able to use your skills. You're not passionate about what you do. It's not in alignment with your values, but because you're trying to chase after this thing that doesn't exist, you're staying here. So it's not allowing you to take that step closer. It's not allowing you to step into a job that you might love that you still wouldn't maybe define as being the perfect job. Because I think the crux of this is that we're scared. We're scared about making the wrong choice. We're scared about choosing the wrong option. What if I leave this job and then go towards this thing that I think might be a good fit, and then that ends up being rubbish too? That kind of mentality keeps us stuck. It keeps us in that place that we don't want to be because at least this is comfortable. At least this is what we know. It's really, really difficult. And I just want to acknowledge that it's really difficult to make a change because everything in your body is telling you to stay where you are because your brain is programmed for safety, not for success. It doesn't care whether you're happy or not. It doesn't care whether you're thriving or not. But here's a way to reframe it. What if we took that pressure off finding the perfect job? What if you allowed yourself to believe that there are multiple right choices? There are lots of different directions that you could go, and they could all be a great fit. Would that allow you to remove some of the fear, to step out of your comfort zone? Because there isn't just one path that we're looking for here. We're weighing up lots of different options and figuring out what is my best next step for the place I am right now. So, what I help my clients do is to design the kind of life that they want to live. We do this first. We do this before we think about any job titles. We do this before we question the industry that they want to work in, because so often we do this the other way around. So, and you may have done this. You may have thought from a young age, maybe 10, 16, right? I am going to go and I'm going to be this job role and I'm going to work towards it. I'm going to get that qualification and I'm going to get a job that allows me to work 9 to 5 for this many years and then I'm going to retire. And that is success for me. Maybe that's the path that you have been on. And then you've got to a certain point and you've gone, oh, wow, okay, this isn't making me happy. The things that I thought would mean success back when I was 10 or 16 or 22, those things don't drive me anymore. Actually, since I made those decisions, I've got married and I've had a family and I've moved house and I've got a mortgage and I've got all these different things because your life has shifted, but maybe your career path has stayed the same. You have changed, but maybe your career path is still going in the same trajectory. So maybe you've grown out of the career path that you originally established for yourself. So, this is why when I work with my clients, we do it the other way around and we work out what is the life that you want to build? How do you want your life to look? What are the things that matter most to you? And then once we've got really clear on that, we've got our non negotiables, then we work out what jobs would fit around that life. What career paths could you go for that would allow you to live the life that you want to live? And that is a much more balanced way of looking at it. And that might mean that you get to a different conclusion than if you just thought about what is the perfect job for me. Well, the perfect job for you might not match the perfect life that you want to live. Perfect puts so much pressure on what your expectations are and what it is you're looking for. Perfect doesn't exist. We know this. Like, really, we do know this deep down, but there's something in us that still strives for this perfection. So it allows us to continue to tell the story that it's okay for me to stay in this job because I haven't found the perfect other option yet. I can stay where I am because I haven't figured out what the next best step could be. So it allows us to stay small. It allows us to stay where we are, but that means that we're missing out on the life and career that we could be living that lines up with these things that matter the most to us, that allows us to live a life that we actually enjoy. So the work that I do with my clients is helping them figure out what life they want to live. What do they want their life to look like? So we think about all the different areas of their life. We think about their relationships. We think about their money. We think about their personal development. We think about their health. We think about all these different areas. We map it all out. And we think if every area of your life was a 10 out of 10, if you had a level 10 life, what would it look like? And we mapped this out. And again, I know this sounds like we're going into the area of perfection, which doesn't exist, but this is just an exercise to get them thinking about what they really want. And then once we've established those things that are the most important things for them, then we start thinking about job titles. Then we start thinking about industries that they might be interested in working in. We don't start with the job and try and fit their life around it. We start with the life that they want to live and we figure out what job would fit. What job would work in that lifestyle that you want to create? What job would allow you to pick up your children for the school run every day? What job would allow you to take off extra time around the school holidays? What job would allow you to work in an area that really allows you to lean into your passion? All these things matter. The things that you want from your life, it's not separate from your work. So often we try and compartmentalize work and life. And actually, the two, they mesh together. You spend so much time in your job that you want it to work well with the life that you want to create. Because here's the other thing that's true: a job that might feel perfect right now, that might change. In 5 years' time, your life might look very different. And in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, you might decide you want to make another career change. Now, if you've got that belief that there is one perfect job for you, then that's going to feel scary because you found it. You found the perfect job. But if your life changes in 5 years' time and you decide you want to make a change, that's okay. It's okay to change your mind. This is a really freeing perspective because it means you can't get it wrong. You try something out for a little period of time. If it works, great. If it doesn't, oh well, let's try something different. And again, this is the work that I do with my clients. They get so clear on what they want their life to look like, what they want to get out of their work, that if their life changes in 5 years' time, that's fine. They can come back to the work that they've done with me to reestablish what is it that they want? What is it that they need from their work for it to feel satisfying, for it to feel meaningful? This is a piece of work that they can come back to again and again that will help them to make those big decisions. So, if you're trying to work out the next step for you, you don't want to get stuck in that fear. You don't want to get stuck chasing perfection. You want to figure out what is that next step. And the best advice I have for you is to work out, what life do you want to live? What are the things that are the most important to you? What are your values? What are your priorities? What things are you really, really good at that you also enjoy doing? And what are you passionate about? If you can find a job that allows you to lean into those things, that is going to be a great next step for you. Again, we're not looking for perfect. We're not looking for this perfection that doesn't exist. We're establishing that there are many choices and that your next step is kind of an experiment. It's going, okay, let's try this. Does this work? Does this line up with the things that I know I want for my life? And if it does, then there's a good chance there is going to be a great next step for you. Now, you might be listening to that thinking, well, I don't want to invest thousands of pounds in a training course, or I don't want to leave this stable job just on a whim, just in case it might be a good fit. So something you could consider is something called a shift project. So that's a very low bar way of trying something out. So it could be a free training course online. It could be volunteering your time for a day a month. It could be talking to somebody who does the kind of job that you're interested in. It could be creating some kind of a project that allows you to use some of the skills that you would need to use in this next job. Try it out before you totally change everything. Because again, we're not looking for perfection, but you don't want to throw away everything that you've worked so hard on. And I know from working with my clients, I know that that is a huge fear when people are trying to shift away from something that they have worked so hard to achieve the levels that they've achieved in their career. But ultimately, you're looking for something that is going to be a really good fit around your life. And when you get clear on these things, when you get clear on what you're looking for, when you've got a bit of a deal breakers list, that is going to help you make decisions much faster. That is going to help you feel confident that the step you're taking is the best next step for you. So, if you're ready to find work that fits your life, not the other way around, and not looking for this perfect job, come and join me in my online community and we can chat about what might be a great next step for you.